Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome to Cross Gaming News. We have a lot that we need to talk about. Majority of stuff, however, is actually involving with the Paris Games Week that just recently happened over on Sunday. A lot of stuff got announced, so let's go ahead and get started with those things. So basically, a release date for the Shou Colossus game remake that we've been getting so far has been revealed. And that date is none other than February 6th. Now, this is actually pretty good news to hear because so far in terms of like how 2018 is looking out to be, the new year starts off with Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. And now with this recent announcement, we now have a game for February being that of Shou Colossus Remake for the PS4. So this is actually looking really good. That means that basically as soon as January comes up, February, it literally is within the first week of that month. So yeah, that's looking good to happen. But the only downside to Shou Colossus Remake is that there isn't any details of if there's a collector's edition of some kind, and there hasn't been any more information other than the fact that it's just basically the original game, but upscales to the Unreal Engine. So in terms of any more details, there hasn't really been any major details revealed yet. But then again, keep in mind, this is just from day one of Paris Games Week, so chances are the company behind the remake might actually reveal some more details as to if there's supposed to be a major collector's edition, or if there's any new updates or anything like that that's been added onto the new remake. As of right now, there isn't really any major details. But aside from that though, Sucker Punch has just recently come out of the woodwork and has revealed their new game. If you don't know who Sucker Punch is, it's the same people who created Sly Cooper as well as Infamous. So to see them come out with a new game is pretty much a good ideal. Well, not so much a good ideal, but it's a breathtaking experience to know that a company that have created those two franchises is now coming out with a new franchise entirely. And that game is none other than Ghost of Tsushima, I believe is how you pronounce that. I'm not quite sure. But honestly, looking at this game, it has that reminiscent feel of some of the previous samurai games. And no, we're not looking at Neo for that matter. We're looking at some of the samurai games like Onimusha, Way of the Samurai, probably even Genji, Dawn of the Samurai. So this is actually pretty cool to see that we're going to get ourselves a new samurai game. And all honesty, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. We haven't really got any gameplay trailer yet, but as of right now, it's looking pretty promising. I hope Sucker Punch continues a good job of revealing more details on this game as it continues to be in development, because quite frankly, this is definitely good news to see. This has my interest, where Sly Cooper still is a good game franchise. Infamous is kind of faded for me, but this one looks like it's coming back. This one looks like it's going to bring Sucker Punch back onto the format into game. In terms of updates, however, we've recently got a trailer reveal for episode Ignis for Final Fantasy 15. Now, with this particular part of the Final Fantasy 15 franchise, episode Ignis looks like it's going to explain a little bit more as to Ignis's dedication to not only protecting Noctis, but as to what is his role. For the most part, I've always thought that Ignis was sort of the up-and-coming advisor for the king, basically, for the new king. But apparently that's where things change up to be into a different idealization. Apparently he's not just an advisor, he's basically a chosen guardian for Noctis in some form of way. As to any more details of it, it's looking promising, and it's definitely what I thought it was. It's taking place after the events of what happened whenever Noctis faced the Leviathan. So it's going to be interesting to see how that story comes up, and potential spoilers, but it was in the trailer itself. Supposedly Ignis puts on the ring, and that's how he more than likely becomes blind. It's because of the after effect of when he puts on the ring of Lucius. The Lucius ring, basically. So, we're gonna get an interesting story, because at first I thought, Agnes, might have done something to Ignis. No, it was actually the ring itself, which, if you don't remember, the ring can only be worn by the Chosen One, basically being that of Noctis. And there's been record of, 3 people wearing it, and they suffered major consequences because of it. The first one being that of the Prince of... I forget his name all of a sudden, but the Prince of... Boy, I am doing terrible right now today. I recently just got up and found out all this information myself, so that's why I'm kind of like this. But, the Prince... This, one guy, he puts on the ring, but it basically made his arm... I don't know how the phrase should be used, but I guess it sort of made his arm crippled. It basically caught on flames, and that's why you see him wear that plated armor, which I'm guessing is actually a robotic arm, rather than an actual armored arm, for that matter. I have no doubt in my mind that that's probably what the case is, that it's an actual robotic arm, and it's replacement of what happened to him. The other one being Ignis, who wore it, in order to stop this one guy who basically turned traitor to King Reigns and basically joined the Empire. Basically, he puts on that ring in order to stop him entirely. And at the end of the movie, you kind of find out he's basically gradually going into pieces, basically. And now Ignis is the third person to have worn the ring and has suffered consequences because of it, because they're not the Chosen One, rather than Noctis being the Chosen One. So, yeah, as far as, what Paris Games Week is looking, it's looking pretty promising right now. This week is starting out to be a pretty good fresh for us. What was the fact that we have still other game announcements that we're hoping to give. For example, some people are saying that maybe God of War, the new God of War game, might get a reveal date probably, which I have no doubt in my mind that they will reveal the date for it, especially since this is a PlayStation experience on the way coming up after Paris Games Week. It's hard to say if it might get a reveal date, but if it does, I don't see it getting revealed on February. What was the fact that Shou Colossus is right there. If nothing else, if they do a reveal date, it would probably be more closer to the beginning of spring. Probably. More than likely. Now, that's all the details for Paris Games Week and the games that are coming up. However, though, there are upcoming announcements that I need to make for you guys. For starters, if you don't know, me and Delmar basically talked about some future updates regarding Kingdom Hearts, our Kingdom Hearts playthrough. We're still right now playing through Kingdom Hearts 2 as we speak in terms of completing the game, but at this rate I don't see us actually completing the game, more or less of just going back through and playing certain parts of the game. Because there's certain parts in that game that would take forever if we continued at this rate, and we would probably never get to Kingdom Hearts Burst by Sleep. Because keep in mind, Kingdom Hearts 3 is still going to be coming out in 2018, so I would like to try to get the majority of the Kingdom Hearts games out of the way before Kingdom Hearts 3 does potentially come out. That may not be the case, however, but we'll see how that goes. But basically, me and Delmar just recently fixed up the poll. I know I should have fixed up the poll sooner whenever we had that video out, and I do apologize if that's the case. But that poll is now up now. So if you want me to play either Terra, Aqua, or Fen to finish Kingdom Hearts Burst by Sleep, by all means, please choose which of the 3 characters you would like to see me potentially fight the secret bosses with. As I stated before, Terra is basically the slowest character to use when it comes to fighting these secret bosses. But if you want me to use Terra, Aqua, or Fen, please by all means choose which one. Because it would take a lot longer just to play as all 3 characters. And instead, me and Delmar decided that we're just going to play through with just one character after we beat the main story campaign. And then there's also the fact that there's still Dream Drop Distance that we still need to do, as well as Kingdom Hearts 0.2 that Delmar's going to be playing through. So that's going to be interesting. Now, that update out of the way, there is, however, another poll that I have decided to put out for you guys, and that is to be the first game that I play for the live stream. Now, keep in mind, these are not like at any means necessarily titles that are going to be continually played through. It's just going to be games that I feel like I can probably beat in like a good 4 or 5 hour long stream. Basically, this is supposed to be a test stream. So in other words, the first game that I'm going to be picked out is going to be a game that I feel confident that I can play through, and that we can see from the beginning to probably the potential end, or just fool around with it, basically. I guess that's the main theme that I'm trying to get at. So, the first game choice that I had was God of War from the PlayStation 3 collection. Basically God of War. That game, there's a game trophy that states that you can beat it within 5 hours. And if that's the case, which I technically have done in the past, but that was on the easiest difficulty, mind you. This is basically going to be playing through normal mode, though. The ideal with me picking God of War is that since I'm familiar with the game as it is, I figured this way I'll be able to not only play the game for you guys, but also to more likely chat with you guys to see if all the settings are good, you know, in terms of my mic audio is good, is the game audio is good enough. Now, in terms of picture quality, it will be a little bit low, but considering the fact that this is live stream we're talking about, it's probably best just to stick with the lowest settings in some degree. Now, it's not going to be complete crap, mind you, but because of live streaming, I want to make certain that we get it to be a decent amount to where people can enjoy it, but at the same time still chat with me in some form of way. So I do want to test all of the all capability that I have when it comes to live streaming. So I figure God of War would be a good choice, but I also have two other choices lined up behind God of War, and this is where the poll comes in. It's either God of War. The second choice is BioShock. I haven't played BioShock in quite some time now, and honestly, if I had to pick any of the 3 games that came out, BioShock 1 is my personal favorite. I just love the atmosphere, I love the story, and the gameplay, while the second one has improved from some degree, the first one is just an instant favorite of mine. Really, in all honesty, it really is. And if it ain't that, we'll probably play Minecraft. Now, in terms of how I would play through that, we're not going to go to beat the Ender Dragon or anything like that. We're just going to be messing around in Minecraft. Basically, me get lost in the game again. I cannot stress this enough alone. If there's like one game out there that I can pick up and just immediately get myself lost into, Minecraft is that game where I can immediately get myself lost in. And I can go from like playing Minecraft, playing it from like the first hour, and then all of a sudden waste 8 hours and not realize it. It goes by quick. That's the crazy thing, is that you play through it and you're just nonchalantly gathering materials and stuff like that, continually building stuff up and everything, and next thing you know, you wasted like 8 hours, and it's like, what the frick just happened? But I figured Minecraft would be a good game to play, you know, a good little exploration game or whatnot. So, those 2 polls are up. So in other words, the first poll, if you're interested to see what character to pick for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep when it comes to fighting off the secret bosses and whatnot, please choose which character I should finish it with. Now, in terms of the second poll, these are going to be for Twitch streams, and these actually have a due date. Now, I can't promise that this is exact, but November 17th is the last day to put up a poll as to which game I should play first for the live stream. And this is just going to be a test stream per se. It's not going to be a 100% playthrough, but if enough people request me to finish that game, or like say God of War or BioShock for that matter, I'll finish it within the next day. Or if for some reason people's like, hey, can we see a continuation of Minecraft? we can do that too. I don't mind one bit, but it depends on what people say, because the actual first game that I do want to play on live stream is actually going to be Final Fantasy. But we'll see how that goes. But in terms of test streams, I want you to choose which game you would like to see me play through as of that being. So, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully everything will go good within the next few weeks. So, until then, this is BlackCross signing off, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.